Good evening. Hello. How are you? It's 7 o'clock. It's Thursday evening, October the 20th, 2022. So welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. Welcome to another session of the Conscious Creators Toolbox. The Conscious Creators Toolbox, of course, is an opportunity for me to share with you some of your tools, some of your, hi Angela, some of your tools, some of your Oh, well, those things that you use to manifest and create your reality. All right, tools. They're all tools in your tool shed, in your toolbox. I kind of take the time on Thursday to take something out of the toolbox on Thursday evening and kind of go through it, share some information about it, sharpen it up, get it ready so you can start manifesting and creating those things that you need, that you use. Sometimes when you don't even know that you're using them. So I kind of introduce you to them, say hi, you dust them off, you polish them up, and we start using them so that we can manifest and create the lives and the realities that we want, the things that we want to have in our lives. So this is Thursday the 20th, Thursday the 20th, 2022, and that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna be here for about, I don't know, about 45 minutes to an hour to kind of talk about, again, your tools. We'll take the tools out of your creative toolbox, your tool shed, and take a look at it. Tonight we're gonna be talking about waiting. Who would think that waiting would be a tool? Yes, I'm gonna share some things about waiting for you, because waiting is a tool. It's a tool too. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna share some information about some of the folk that I know that's used it, how they use it very well, and how they use it to manifest and to bring into their lives and into their realities, their manifestations, those things that they wanted, they dreamed about, they wanted to have in their lives. So that's what we got to do tonight. Tonight's topic is lessons I've learned in waiting. Okay, all right. Now, I know that the topic, I think that the phrase for today, I kind of posted it online. The phrase for today was bide one's time. Bide one's time. That's what I'm doing. I bide time. I'm an Aquarian. I am a true air sign. And if you know anything about air, it doesn't like to it gets stale when it's stuck somewhere too long. So it likes to move around and, like for things to be happening. And I'm a true air sign. So I have to bow a little bit to the concept or the idea or the process, the tool of actually waiting. Because I pride myself on being a master manifester. I manifest with purpose, and I manifest assuredly that I'm going to actually bring those things into my experience that I dream about, that I want, I desire. I don't do too bad. I don't do too bad. Could be better. Could be better. I think now that I've learned a few lessons about manifestation, you guys best move out the way, because you may see me walking on water any day now. But anyway, that's not one of my dreams, by the way. But you never know. You never know. But anyway, the phrase for today, for the week, is bide one's time. And basically, bide, according to the dictionary, is to wait calmly for a good opportunity to do something, be patient, stand by, hold back, all the things that air don't like to do. Air don't like to do that. But I'm learning, and I have learned some things, and tonight I'm going to share some of those things that I've learned. But first, I just want to say that I am totally, totally, totally grateful and thankful that I did get to understand and some clarity about waiting, about what's the process of waiting, and the need for waiting, and the benefits for waiting, and I'm gonna hopefully share that information with you tonight. So like I said, I am biding my time, because I'm always manifesting. I manifest by default, because that's what I do. I'm a creator by default, like my father, like you, like we all are. We all are creators, created in the image and out of the same stuff of our creator, which is creation. And we can do, and we can have, and we can be all those things that our creator can have and do and be. And I I tell everybody who will listen, and sometimes when you won't listen, I try to tell you that you have no restriction or no limitations other than those that you place on your creator, your maker, your master, your father, your God, your source, divine, if you would. So whatever you say or feel or think or believe that your father, your source, God, divine universe, whatever you call your source, your maker, your creator from which you're made from, you can do and you can have and be the same. So that's your only limitation. It's what the limitations that you put on your maker. Because like father, like maker, like creator, like son, like created, like you and like me. We are creators, created in the image. So we abide. We bide our time and waiting for a good opportunity to do something. A good opportunity. Who qualifies a good opportunity, huh? We're going to talk a little bit about that too. And we hold back. We tarry. I think the word in the Bible, they call it tarry. When you see the word tarry in the Bible, that means that they're biding their time. They're waiting for something to happen. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm gonna talk a little bit about biding time, but we all bide. We're all in the process of biding time for something or another, whether we realize it or not. We are biding. But anyway, what do they say about time? A lot of things they say about time. But tonight, I want us to think about this phrase about time, and that is that time waits for no man. It's true too. Time does not wait. Time does not stop for no one. All right. Doesn't stop for anybody or anything. I think there's maybe a few times in the Bible that time stopped, but it wasn't by choice. It was by the hand of the Creator that did that stopping. So time waits for no man. It stops for no man. But let's be perfectly clear. Understand this. Every man waits for an end time. All right? It don't stop for us, but we wait for it, okay? And basically waiting, because it's not stopping. It's going on about its business. It's going on ticking away. But what it is we are waiting for the fullness of time for some given opportunity, if you would, and we're doing it in patience. We're patiently doing it, unless you're an air sign like me, and you have to negotiate with that patience. But you do it, and we hold back. And we hold back. That means that we hold back doing something and acting something or whatever. We hold back until the time is full, and then whatever it is that we tarried for presents itself to us. And usually that's our manifestations. All right. So time waits for no man, but man waits in time and for time. And that's probably the most, that's one of the first lessons that I learned to accept. Probably knew it. It was, you know that, time don't wait. But I think I finally understand the process, understand that concept, that it doesn't wait for me, but I am waiting, always in waiting for time to finish and to get there, or to the clock to strike, or the bell to ring, or something. All right. Now something else that we have to agree on is that we're kind of prisoners of time. We're prisoners of time, so to speak. And when I say we, I mean all of mankind, all of nature, all of every being, whether it be plant or animal or whatever else there is other than God, the great being itself, himself, is a prisoner of time. Okay? We are regulated, monitored, kept track of by time. By time. There's another thing. Again, that's another lesson that became very, very clear to me. Clear to me. No matter how I look at it, air, water, earth, whatever, I am in this dimension, the third dimension, I'm regulated by time. And it's not a whole lot I can do about it, because we've all agreed there's 24 hours in a day. We've agreed that there's 60 minutes. We've agreed on the standards of time. And as a human race, as a physical bodies, as beings in this dimension, that's our, we're kind of governed by it. We're kind of in that phase and that time capsule, if you would. All right. Something that I hope that we don't have to disagree on, or I don't really have to go into too much, is the fact that time is also an illusion. Go figure. We're held captive by an illusion, something that we have manufactured or created just to be able to maneuver and manage and get about, navigate, if you would, navigate the third dimension. All right. I don't know about the fifth or all the other dimensions. I don't know, what's happening in there, time, space, and all that. I don't understand. I don't know that. I didn't take that physics class, so I don't know. And I know Einstein. I also know some of his theories, and I understand. I grasp some of them. I don't know if I understand them totally, but I get them. Okay. But I don't know what they've said about other dimensions. Okay. I don't know. So, but in here on this plane, on this third dimension, we are regulated, monitored, and kind of kept track of by time. All right. Even if it wasn't a clock, I guess, with those little hands and minutes, the phases of the earth rotation, and we kind of, and they've got it calculated that it takes 365 days for the earth to go around the sun. So we're time space governed, if you would, or controlled or managed, or that's how we navigate. So that, I hope, is just a given. That's a science lesson that we all had probably somewhere in our lives or in our education. We grasp that, we understand that, we're conditioned to that understanding. Okay, so it's an illusion. It waits for no man, but man have to wait for it, and we are kind of tapped into it, and we roll with it. That's how we roll. But tonight, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about a couple of more lessons that I have come to, I've become clear on. So some of these things I knew, I've heard of them. They sound good, and I think I've tried it, but it didn't really work for me or whatever. But I gained some clarity on these three particular ones. And I have several other ones but these three I kind of want to hit on tonight. And the first one is kind of goes along with my mission, with something in my purpose, what I feel that I'm called to do, and that is to express to you and to share with you and to hopefully convince you or motivate you or move you or have you curious about who, what, and whose you are. And like I said before, we know that we are creators, and we created in the images of our creator, and we're out of the same stuff, and we can do, that's something that I enjoy talking about, sharing with, and that's why Conscious Creators ToolBox happened to come around, because we are creative beings and creative people and manifest. So we want to learn and know how to do it. We want to do it to the best. We don't want to be masters, because we are the masters of ourselves, and we want to make sure that we are manifesting and creating what we want in our lives rather than what we don't want. All right. So that's my mission. So the first thing I've learned is that I've accepted this. In order to manifest or create on this plane, in this third dimension, where we live and where we have our experience and we have our reality, we must, absolutely must, have an understanding, an appreciation, and a respect, and partner with the illusion of time. All right? And that's just a given. I mean, that's just a given, and because we have agreed and we're conditioned and we set up this time constraint illusion so that we can maneuver and navigate the third dimension, we need to respect that. We set it up, we have to respect it. It takes time from the time that we think or that we dream or we have these desires. It's a time frame between that picture that we see in the back of our mind, that using our imagination and our thoughts and our feelings to conjure this dream or have this dream. It's an interval between that time that we conceive it, the birth of that, to actually manifesting it. Say, for instance, if you wanted a new car. Well, you want a particular car. It takes. How long does it take to manufacture your car? We may want to call Mr. Ford and find out how long does it take to make a car. So from the time that we see or we want a car, they're not always sitting on the lot exactly like you want. Somebody may have to make it and get it to the lot. Okay, so it's a time frame. It takes time from the time that you decide that you want to be a parent or a mother or father. It takes 9 months from conception to do that. All right, so we are again managed, maneuvered, monitored, and pretty much in that time frame, a time capsule, if you would. But that time capsule is an illusion. All right. Now, I had a hard time with that. I had a hard time with that. It's an illusion. Why am I going to be bothered with dealing with an illusion? That's what we've agreed on in the third dimension. In the third dimension, it takes an interval from the time that we put a seed in the ground, and it pops this little head up with a little sprout from the dirt. It doesn't go in the ground and we look, we pat it down and we turn around and it's popped up. That doesn't happen. It's going to be a time period there. So everything is governed. Everything that we manifest or we create or we dream about, we desire, we want, there's an interval from the time that we conceive it or we birth it in our imagination to presenting it and manifesting it and experiencing it and having it in our reality. All right? Oh, Jean, I know you don't like to wait. And I know that you don't like to, be put to abide and be put on hold. And, you dream it, you see it, it's in your mind. You wanted it, chances are you wanted it before you came up in your mind, the way we act. Because what I do, guilty as charged, when I desire, I dream something, I want something, I decide I gotta have this, or I want to do that, I want to go here, I want to do it now. All right. So as soon as guilty as charged, I'm going to confess this. Most times, as soon as I decide that I want something or I dream something or I wake up the next morning from a dream or from a desire, I instantly, it's mine. I start receiving it. All right. I start receiving it. Okay. I don't care if it takes 6 months. I gotta work 2 weeks to make them, whatever. I want it now. And I start asking, where is it? Where is it? And if it takes a little bit too longer than I think it ought to take, I start getting frustrated and I start maybe shifting that desire a little bit or going back and, just kind of arguing with ego and myself and wondering, what's up? I want this. Why? Where is it? Is something wrong with me? Can I not have it? Is there a problem with it? I immediately start having it and then asking, and my having is where is it? All right. So I go from dream, most times, from the dream stage to where is it stage. Okay. All right. But again, if I really stop and really realize that my dreams weren't just hanging out there and never laying nowhere to be thinking of me, and all of a sudden I grab hold of it, it's waiting for me. So I got you, so give it to me, give it up. So my lesson is, Jean, understand that from the birth of your dream to the manifestation of that dream, there is a time frame. There's a time interval. So abide in time. Abide in that interval. All right. Now I say it's an illusion, and time is an illusion. So why do I have to abide in this illusionist. Well, so is so is my dream. So is that dream. So is that desire. So is that want. So is that wish. When I conceive it, it's just a ball of energy. It's just a bundle of feelings. It's just floating out there, waiting to do whatever the powers to be do to get it to me, manifest it to me. It's got to go through all of that, but it's got to respect that time interval, that process. And that's where bide in time, that's what we do. We're not necessarily biding in time so much, which is an illusion. Oh, maybe we are. But we're also abiding in the illusion of of the reality of it. Okay, the illusion of the dream. It's just a dream. It's just a dream. It's just a wish. It's just a bundle of words. It's just a bundle of thoughts that we've put together that we want to manifest. That's too is an illusion. So what we do, and this is something that Neville Goddard said, Neville Goddard reminds us to do, is to go to the wish fulfilled and stay there. And stay there means abide there, hold back there, hang out there, be there, and wait. Wait for the good opportunity to do something. All right. So bide your time is synonymous with going to your wish, your dream, your desire, and biding there, just resting there, and waiting for the opportunity to do whatever Father, Source, God instructs you, impress on you to do. All right. It's not to go start worrying about it or convincing yourself that maybe it wasn't really a dream, or maybe it's not going to happen for me, or maybe I'm not old enough, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not rich enough, or maybe, all those things that that starts frustrating you with jumping from the dream to where is it. All right. So don't jump. Don't jump from the dream to where is it. Jump from the dream to abiding or biding or resting or waiting or tarrying, as Jesus would say, or the word of the Bible would tell us, tarry there until. So Neville would say, go to the wish fulfill. Go to your dream and just rest and abide there, assured that if you dream it, if you conceived it in your mind, in your imagination, that you can manifest it and bring it forth into your reality and your experience. That's a lesson. I mean, it was something that I ought to know, but sometimes you know a thing, but then there's layers all over it, or stuff all over it, and then and that you just miss. But you get this I got this aha moment, and I said, oh, okay, bide your time. Time is an illusion. What does that mean? Time is an illusion. So by the dream until the fullness of the time, or the time is fulfilled, where it is actually manifested and materialized and part of now my reality. Just rest there. Don't worry there. Resting and worrying are not, they have nothing to do with each other. Abide there. Rest, tarry, wait there. All right. The next lesson I learned, or the second lesson I learned, that I want to share tonight, and I think hopefully it will be somewhat helpful to you, is understanding about time, how time is to me, to us, to the physical, to human, to this in this dimension, and to God, to Source, to Creator. It's two different. God and we do not see time like God. I don't even God is beyond time. It's outside of time. God is outside of time. God is beyond time. God does not need an illusion to create. All right. God created all of this, you know, in the illusion of 7 days. I don't know, or in 7 days. He made the day. He made the day first. Okay. He made the time. I don't know. But time to us and time to creation is somewhat of, it's a difference. It's a different kind of thing, because we are bound here in the third dimension, where we, in order to navigate and to be a part of this dimension, we need that time, space concept, construct, if you would, okay? God doesn't need that because God is not confined to here. He's not confined to the third dimension. God is all dimensions. God is infinite. God, that part of us that lives on and on and on like God is infinite. But this part of us that lives in this dimension and has numbered days it's governed and managed and monitored and basically controlled and maneuvered by time and space. You know, that's how we roll here. There's no other way to do it. All right. But understanding that when in God's construct, which is it's not even a time is no construct for God, but we as physical beings, as human beings, as physical beings in this dimension, we are. Now, when God gives us a dream, a mission, a purpose, a desire, I think the Word of God says that it is God who gives us the desires of our hearts. So when we get that dream, that desire, and we receive it in our imagination, and we're developing the pictures and developing the details of that dream and that in our imaginations, that comes from God, that comes from a higher source. Call it God, call it Father, call it divine, call it Creator, whatever. It comes from a higher source, and when we get it, and we put our 2 cents worth on it, and our feelings and our attitudes and our desire, we receive it. Then again, what we do is we don't always stop to even think about, everything it takes to bring that dream into a reality. We don't really stop and think about it. We don't do that. We like I said, like me, I just start right away. I got this idea, I got this dream, I got this desire. Let's go. I want it. Where is it? But as an improved and a new attitude and a new with new understanding and new perspective about the receiving of the dream and the dreaming and the manifestation, I understand that I need to stop. I need to stop a minute. I need to be thankful that, that I have this dream and I'm excited about it. And thank you for, just allowing me the dream. And now what? Now what? I should say. Now what? All right. And I wait. I should wait and listen and watch instead of jumping right from the dream to where is it? I should patiently wait. Now what? Beautiful dream. I love it. It's, like, all right, and this is what I want, and this is how it looks, and this is how it makes me feel, and this is what's gonna happen when I can do all of those things. I can start going there to the place to abide there with it. But I need to understand that I have to remain open. I have to remain open because I may have a part in this. It may be more than just dreaming about it, Gene. I may have something that I need to understand about it, something that I need to do about it. So I need to listen, sit and wait. In that abiding time, I'm able to wait and listen and be patient and wait and assuredly, confidently that this dream, this desire that I have, that God gave me, my source gave me, and source gave it to me, and I can do this. I believe in it. I want to hold on to it. I want to keep it, and I want to abide there, and I want to be excited about it, and I want to wait for it. Wait for it. What I was when I was going, I think one of the things that helped me come to really appreciate waiting for a dream that you have and not being so impatient and having to have it yesterday, although I dreamed it today, wait. It was the story of Joseph. Joseph in the Bible, if you know the Joseph was the the son. His father had, I can't remember his father's name, but he was the father. His father had 12 sons, and he was, I don't know if he was the youngest. I think he was next to the youngest. He was of the 12, though. He was the favorite son. He was the one that his father gave him that beautiful little colorful coat. Okay, and he was the favorite son, and he made no bones about it. He knew it, and his brothers knew it too. So the brothers were a little jealous, but that's just if you have time to just look at the story, it's a great story. But when I was thinking about my attitude about waiting, and some of the things that I've wanted and desired and dreamed about, and still patiently waiting for, and wondering where is it, I stopped and I thought about the story of Joseph. Well, Joseph was a dreamer. The little Joseph was a dreamer when he was a teenager. He dreamed. He had these fantastic dreams that he was going to be this great person, and he was going to be he was going to be rich and famous, and he was going to be he's going to rule. He's going to be the ruler, and he was going to be more rich. He's going to be richer than all the brothers and even the dad, and he was going to be so rich that he could take care of everybody, the whole town and the whole family. He was going to be the bomb. He was going to, and he dreamed this dream, and it was a beautiful dream, and he was excited about it. And he was a kid, and he was excited that he dreamed this, and he believed in it. He believed it. So he told his brothers, and of course his brothers didn't like that, because how dare you? You're already the favorite, and now you're dreaming that you're better than us, okay? And you're really not. You're just like, but that's a side story, okay? But the main story is that Joseph dreamed these dreams when he was 17. 17 years old, he dreamed these dreams. And it wasn't until he was in his 30s that any part of these dreams became a reality for him, or they manifested into his life. And if you really read the story, you will wonder, like I did when I was going back and I was thinking about him. I said, that boy went through a lot of stuff before he came close to the dream. And he was so far from the dream, all these issues and obstacles and things that came up into his life. He was so far away from the dream. How in the world did this boy keep on keeping on with this dream after all the stuff that he was going through? His brothers were so jealous of him, they sold him. They sold him into slavery. How in the world are you going to be the richest man in the world if you are now a slave, an unknown slave at that, and probably no possibility of redemption or getting your freedom. How was this going to happen? He was sold into slavery, but somebody was looking out for him, and he looked out, and he came out of that. He got out of that, and then he was a dreamer, and he could tell dreams. He could interpret dreams because he interpreted his. He was a dream interpreter, so he got kind of a little notoriety from that, and he was able to interpret dreams. So the king heard about him, and the king brought him in and wanted him to interpret some dreams, and he did, and the dreams came to be. His dreams are still somewhere floating around, I don't know, in Never Land probably, but the boy was still holding on to him. He still believed that all this stuff was going to happen. Okay. He wasn't worried about it like me, like when was it going to happen? When is it going to happen? He just lived his life listening and waiting, listening and receiving from his source, from God, from the maker of the dreams, the giver. He was listening and waiting for that, but he was going on living his life. I pretty, my opinion, I would have been frustrated and, just mad at God or mad at everybody. I'm a slave now, but he wasn't. And as I was reading about him, I was just more and more impressed with his strength. But he was abiding. He was continuing to rest in that dream. He was continuing to rest in the dream. I guess God gave him no timetable in the dream. He didn't have a timetable. He didn't know how old he was going to be, and I guess back in those days they lived for a lot of years, but it was almost 30 years later before he really actually, the dream came about. The dream came to be. He was 30 some odd years old. He got the dream when he was 15 or 16, something like that. But that's a lot of years. Or even he maybe even been younger, maybe in 11. But that story impressed me. That story it touched me. It opened, it was like an aha moment for me. Because I said, That's what you call abiding. Look at that story, because the boy was thrown into slavery. He was accused of, you know, inappropriate behavior with the king's wife, or the whatever, his boss's wife or whatever. He was thrown into jail at that point, you know. Then he finally got out, and he did, he was able to, go back home to the famine, or the country where he his family was living, and they were having a famine and everything. Nobody had anything, so he was able to bring them to the kingdom, and to his place, and take care of them. Okay, so his dreams came true. Came true. Um, and I think his brothers were still alive, and they had to admit that, wow, the boy was straight. His dreams were true. But anyway, if you get a chance, I think it's in the book of Genesis. I think it's around the 37, 38, 39th chapter. But it's the whole story of him, and it talks about all the things that he went through. Pay close attention to the dreams that he had as a young boy, and just look at the progress, the process, or what he had to go through in the meantime. But he was abiding all that time. All right. So, I have a hard time abiding for 30 days. It's like, I have a hard time abiding. I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, my first daughter, I was like, it's just never gonna, 9 months, Gene. I was marking off the calendar and trying to rush those days. But, we get so impatient. We get so impatient. But you look at this young boy, the dreamer, Joseph, and he abided. He was biding time. He was living in the end. He was living, like Neville says, living in the dream fulfilled, living in the wish fulfilled that whole time. When he was lying in prison, he was probably seeing himself. Maybe he was asking God, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? But he wasn't giving up. He didn't throw his hands up and just give up. The jobs were presented to him. He came out of prison, and he did what he did, and he was upgraded, and then he did it was upgraded again, until he did reach the dream till as they say in the Bible, until the time was fulfilled. So it's when the time was fulfilled, his dream was manifested, and it became that. Now the last lesson that I wanted to share again, and this one is pretty simple, pretty easy to go with. But this is the lesson that I've learned. The third lesson is actually my new approach to time, how I approach it now. And again, time is an illusion, no doubt about it. And again, so are my dreams, so are my desires, so are my wishes. They too are illusions. So I conjure when I come up, or when I birth a dream, or an idea, or a wish, or a want, whether I'm asleep, whether it's a dream that comes in my sleep, or something that I'm daydreaming while I'm walking the treadmill, doing exercising on the treadmill, or just in my imagination, something that I'm in the midst of doing, and wouldn't it be nice if I could, yada yada, and then I start doing that. When I do it, even in in my imagination, the birthplace of my reality, I dream those. But I actually begin to do like Neville Goddard suggests. I go and I sit there in the dream, in the wish fulfilled, seeing all the details, feeling it, imagining how it would be when I could actually experience and have it, be it, do it, whatever whatever it is that I'm dreaming. That's abiding. That's biding my time, and it's also living in the end. And it allows me to wait patiently and understand that it's an illusion, it's an illusionary time, and it's an illusionary dream. It's an illusionary dream at the time. And when they come together, and I'm sitting in it, biding in it, appreciating it, listening for any instructions that I'm given from on high, from my source, that I'm impressed upon, and the quietness. And I have to do these things. I have to, sit and be quiet and listen and wait, not be anxious, not start worrying about when it's going to happen, or trying to figure out how to make it happen. Because like I was told earlier this week, and I was going, processing this whole idea of time. I was told, dear Jean, you don't even have the bandwidth. You don't even have the bandwidth. You don't have the time. You don't have the capacity in your little mind to take in every detail necessary to bring to you your dream and your wish. You don't have it. So what you do have is time, patience, right? You can abide. You can continue to use your imagination to appreciate it. You can still feel it. You can talk about it in your spirit, in your heart. You can listen for and wait for instructions from on high, or wait and prepare yourself to receive it. Bide your time. That's you. Use your time in that way, because trying to figure out how to do it, I promise you, you will miss a zillion items that's on the endless list of what it takes to bring your dream to be. All right. So I said, I understand, I get it. I totally get it. So I use my illusionary time, and I take my illusionary dreams and my illusionary wishes and my wants, and I put them together, and I sit there and I patiently smile and laugh and imagine and just see myself having, being, doing, experiencing my dreams, biding my time, like Joseph, And things come and slap me in the face. Ego try to tell me that you're waiting for nothing. Or if I'm like Joseph and I go brag to somebody and they tell me, oh, Jean, you can't do that. That's one of the things I learned from Joseph too. Sometimes when you get a dream, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. You may not, you may keep yourself out of being sold off to slavery. Because first thing, people, you tell people your dreams, and they mean no harm by it. But they say, are you sure you can do that? Or, are you, I want to do such. Well, you're retired. You're too old to do that now. Says who? I dreamed it, so I must be able to do it. I saw myself doing it in my dream. That it was me. So sometimes, you know, you're God's favorite. You are your Father's favorite. So you don't want to make anybody to be jealous and get all huffy and puffy because you had this wonderful dream that looked impossible to them, but obviously it wasn't to you because you created it. Keep it to yourself. So that was a nice lesson I learned from. I wish I wish sometimes I could keep it from my ego. But anyway, what I want to do, I want to leave you with five suggestions of what you can do when you're in the process of biding your time. These 5 things. Listen, all right, and listen means to turn your hearings toward somebody else, not you and ego. Somebody else, meaning someone that's going to give you encouragement, that's going to feed life into that dream, that's going to give you ideas, going to give you encouragement to wait, going to give you reasons to wait, not you're too old, or are you sure you're doing that, or you get that, or you just got to take, don't listen to ego. All right. Ego don't want you to be disappointed. Ego doesn't want you to be hurt. So ego considers himself, herself, helping you by convincing you that you need to give this up or it's not for you, because he wants you to feel okay about yourself. He don't want you to, but it's okay. It's okay. That boy was thrown into prison. And you're talking about hurting your feelings. That was hurt, okay? His brother sold him into slavery. That was hurt. All kind of things happened to him. So, it's not going to, and he's lived to see his dreams come true. So will you. So listen for God or source or your higher self to give you the encouragement and the information that you need to buy, to wait, or to do whatever you need to do. Ponder, another thing you do. Ponder means when you receive a word or a message from on high, ponder it. And when you see it, just ponder it and first of all, make sure that it's from on high and not from ego. So again, if it's something that's telling you the reason that you shouldn't do it, it's probably from ego. God will never give you, listen to this, God will never give you a dream or a wish or a desire. Never give you a wish and a desire and then come back and tell you, no, I didn't mean it. All right? We do that. God doesn't do that. Okay? So don't listen to ego. Ponder it. If you receive information about it, weigh it, ponder it, ask questions about it. Are you really talking to me about this, God? Or did you really mean it like this? Or can you show me another way to do it? Help me understand. Just ponder it. Ponder on it. Pray and meditate. Pray means we talk to God about it. Meditate means that we sit and wait and receive from God about it or from source about it, okay? That's our opportunity to talk to our higher self, talk to our source, talk to God, talk to the giver of the dreams, okay? Talk to God, okay? Preparation. Now, I was told the other day when I was, pondering and meditating and praying, I was told, how am I supposed to do this? Don't worry about it, Gene. Just get ready for it, all right? Prepare. So get ready. Whatever it is that you're dreaming about, dreaming for, get yourself ready to get it, to have it. Because chances are, at the time that you ask for it, there's some things that you know that you need to do so you can be ready for it, all right? That you can do. Nobody has to tell you to do it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a new car and I gotta trade this. I gotta get this car in shape so I can trade it. You just prepare, all right? Do what you can do. And finally, when you receive, again, let me say this real quick about this one. This is act. Do something, act. God is on a totally different timetable than we are. A totally different time. With time, 24 hours doesn't mean nothing to him, God. But when God speaks and God says do, God is quick. God is a God of action, all right? When God says do, be ready to act and act. And don't start wondering, can you? Because if God tells you to do it or instructs you to do it, if you get it from source to do it, do it. All right? You can do it. Whether you tell yourself or ego tell you or whoever. I tell you, you can't. You can do it. Because if God says you can, you can. All right? Believe that. When you receive your dreams and you receive your desires, you receive those wishes and wants are given to you on the back of your picture on your back of your mind. Understand where they come from. Understand where they come from. Trust and believe in whom they come from. And know with no doubt in your mind that you can have your dreams, you can have your wishes, you can have your desires. Hold on to them. Just abide until time is fulfilled and you manifest, you experience them, and you live them. That's all I got to say about that. I appreciate the time tonight with you, and I hope that you got something out of time, understanding that time is your pal. Time. You need to use time, and you need to be grateful that you have time to partner with and to use as an illusion for the illusion that you are bringing into your reality so that you can experience it. All right? I appreciate your time, and I will hopefully see you next week. Until then, I'm going to say manifest best. Remember that you are loved, which means that you are full of love, which means that you can also love. I love you, God loves you, and I will see you next week. Manifest best until then. Good night.